Let's see the news. Diablo 4 Season of the Infernal Hordes inside the game. This is information that came out literally 1 day ago. I'm excited. Let's put it up and let's see what is going on with Diablos.
We've been saying this whole time that hell is coming. Now, hell is here.
We're going to hell in a handbasket. Oh, I'm excited.
Something that's always present in a Diablo title, and we wanted to make sure that for Diablo 4,
okay,
returning to hell was a special moment.
Yes.
We referenced the endgame cinematic with Prava and Inarius taking the fight to...
Oh, man. Dude, this, oh my god, man. This cinematic for Diablo 4, where they're in hell, and it's like the giant hell fight and everything. Dude, that animation might be one of my favorite Diablo animations ever. Like, maybe it's just slightly behind, like, you know, the Diablo 2 animations. But, man, this one was so good. Holy smokes. Oh, man.
Hell.
I'm excited, dude. I want to go to hell. This is going to be great.
That experience, that sensation of battling throngs of demons in hell. In the Infernal Hordes, they're going to go into this mode, battle waves of demons, and be able to kind of change the shape of the game experience as you play it.
Those of you who have joined us since base game and throughout the seasons will have noticed that we have this phenomenon in the world that's going on called Hell Tides.
Yes.
Some of you might have noticed that Hell
Tides is why Season 4 was so good. Well, a big part of it. Like, it was just wild monsters everywhere. You know, some of the biggest monster density in all of Diablo 4 so far. It was really, really, really good. Oh my god.
Tides have been getting a lot worse lately.
And now hell is able to pierce
or
the
better,
veil
depending on your perspective.
That's holding hell back from fully invading Sanctuary and starting to take root in Sanctuary. And we started by asking ourselves some questions. What is the state of Sanctuary right before the Vessel of Hatred happens? How has hell changed now that...
So this season is the lead up, is the direct lead up to the DLC. I mean, that makes sense because Season 5 is coming out and, you know, very, very soon. Week, 2 weeks, whatever it is. And then the DLC is going to be technically Season 6. Because, like, Season 6 is coming out in, the DLC is coming out in just, what is it, like 2 months? So, yeah, this is going to be directly the lead up. Okay, like, I didn't realize that Season 5 was going to be, like, so big. I thought it was just going to be, like, a little bit of a bridge or whatever. But no, this is bigger.
Wasn't there anymore.
Much
what are
bigger.
The demons up to?
Where is Mephisto? Does he have anything to do with this? Or is this just hell rising of its own accord as the prophecy proclaimed?
And so we thought to ourselves, how can we make things even worse for the people in Sanctuary?
In this season, you'll very much get...
Dude, can you imagine, like, you ever see those questions that are like the bait questions on Twitter and social media? Like, what would you do with $1 million if you were being kidnapped by someone? Your last, you know, gameplay character is going to save you. Are you screwed or not? Like, you know those questions? One of those questions, of course, inevitably is, you're in the world of the last game you played. How screwed are you? Diablo 4, or like, you know, the world of Diablo in general, is probably one of the worst worlds you could be, like, spawned in. Like, holy shit. No one ends up happy in Diablo. Like, everyone's just dead, or like they get taken over by demons and then they die, or whatever. Like, dude, man, living in Sanctuary would be the absolute worst. Oh my lord.
Dive into those mysteries with some unlikely allies and really get to the bottom of what's happening. So in this season, we play a lot with the notion...
Cam, I played Path of Exile like 4 times this past week, my friend. I've been playing it a lot this new season. It's been great. The Settlers of Kalgor. I've been covering it up on the lovely YouTube as well, so definitely check that out. And yeah, I play it a lot, Cam. So hop on in, enjoy. Keep an eye out for it. Keep your notifications on because we will play more of it. I have made 2 characters so far. None of them are very progressed, but you know, we're at least made 2, and we're gonna make plenty more. I spawn in Dark D&D world. Yeah, exactly. That would kill us as well. Gigabyte update for once you... Ooh, thank you for letting me know.
of the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yes.
How far would you go to save Sanctuary, to save the world? What price would you pay? Would you sacrifice your soul for this? You're going to meet...
That is a very grimdark question. I love the grimdark theming of this, and the answer is generally in a grimdark world, a hero sacrifices everything to have a chance of saving the world, and then a lot of times they still fail. Which is why I love grimdark. So good.
Lochran, who at first seems sort of usual, but you're going to quickly realize that something is off, that something is a little strange with this guy.
Okay.
So Lochran and Estelle are your allies.
You're a hero? You are a hero,
They're
Bree.
going to help you return to hell. Both of them are experts in demons, and they're going to use that knowledge to help you return to hell and become more powerful to be able to battle the enemy.
Oh, that's cool. This is
Infernal Hordes
cool.
is a new endgame activity in Diablo 4. It's primarily a wave-based activity. You're going to be fighting wave after wave of demon forces in hell.
So if any of you have ever played wave-based gameplay before, you'll know that things escalate.
We've got meteor strike.
So wave-based style gameplay. This is a direct copy from last Epoch. Because last Epoch, in its most recent update, added a wave defense style gameplay as well. You know? I'm not saying this is a bad thing, by the way, chat. I want you to know. Blizzard is at its best when it's copying off of other good games. That's why Season 4 was such a dramatic increase in quality from, like, you know, the rest of Diablo 4. Because they decided to copy half the shit from last Epoch for, like, all the itemization and everything. And it made the game infinitely better. This is great. This, yeah, like, almost like a roguelike mode. Polar Cat. Yeah, exactly.
And all sorts of things.
This
that
is
try to
awesome.
Keep you on your toes.
One thing the Infernal Hordes does differently is the notion of infernal offers.
Okay.
Between each wave, you'll make a choice. You'll be granted an infernal offer, and by
Perks. Essentially perks. Okay, so things can slow you, but you gain unlimited resources. Interesting, okay.
choosing one of 3 of these offers, you're going to change the game mode in some way, a positive and a negative.
You can imagine, from the depths of hell, these hands rise out and offer you both a boon and a bane, a kiss and a curse.
And this
kiss
is
and a curse.
temptation that the Foul Council is making to you. And in this temptation,
If ever given the choice for a kiss and a curse, you always say yes.
you're offered more power, but that power comes at a cost. And so you get to choose, you know, which temptations you're going to pursue during your infernal run, and then customize your experience from there. One of the guiding principles of this
Okay.
game mode is replay. It's an in-game mode that we want to make sure you're playing over and over again. So we really wanted to create a broad set of enemies for you to fight during this mode.
Okay,
We've
good.
got many demons to choose from in the lexicon of Diablo's monster families, but we're also going to see some other foes you might not expect.
There are going to be certain types of enemies like goatmen who have been banished to hell that have now rallied to Mephisto and fight by his side. And even some unlucky souls that marched on hell from the Cathedral of Light have now been revived in hell and fight against you alongside the demons.
Basically, everything that hell has to throw at you, we're throwing it at you this season.
The Infernal Hordes has been built with multiplayer in
Interesting.
mind, but multiplayer is not required. We want to make
And I like that. I like fighting demons, but I don't want to only fight demons, especially if the like mode is, you know, infinite and so on. I like being able to fight, you know, monsters. I'd love to be able to fight the ghosts. I'd love to be able to fight like the fish people dudes. So yeah, absolutely. Want to make sure solo players still have a very fun experience. This is good because like I heard they're making it like a team-based thing. And while that is great, I think like Diablo 4 is a very solo-centric game. So it'd be weird if they all of a sudden decided to like focus on like only party style mechanics. You know, I like Diablo 4 a lot. I like the Diablo 4 community, but they're quite insular. Like, I think I have only purposefully grouped up with people from this community. And as in, like, people have invited me to group up. But generally, when I'm playing Diablo 4, I never get invites from, like, random people in the world or anything ever. So all of a sudden requiring that of your player base, I think would be very jarring. And I don't think would be very successful. So I'm glad they're not doing that. I hope they're not doing that. We'll see.
That solo players still have a very fun experience in the Infernal Hordes.
Okay.
Now, that said, if you roll in with a party, you're going to have a lot of fun.
This game mode is going to appear in the Eternal and in the Seasonal realm, and that means that once the season is over, it's here to stay.
The Infernal Hordes is unlocked at World Tier 3, so really what you need to do to access it is earn your way up to World Tier 3 and then complete an Eternal quest line that takes you back to Hell, and then...
Look at those glowy hands. That's really cool. That's cool, man.
Unlocks the Infernal Hordes.
They're like grabby hands.
1 and 2 players, we've built out a seasonal progression that'll help them become more powerful in order to be able to confront the Infernal Hordes. First is you can earn reputation, and that reputation applies to a reputation track.
Thank God. One of the best changes for Season 4 compared to other seasons was the entire reputation track for the Iron Wolves. I think it was called the Iron Wolves. And for the Hell Tides and stuff, you would get, like, you know, every so often you get, like, some cool uniques. You even got, like, some of the, like, really, really strong uniques as leveling uniques, essentially, if you pick them up early enough. And it, like, really helped you progress along, and you could do it for every single character again. I loved this. This was so cool, and this was such an addition to the game. So, yeah, I'm very, very glad, and I'm so glad they're going more with this. I hope every single season you get more. At the end, you got a stone. I never actually finished the season mechanic for this. Yeah, I mean, I played a lot of Season 4, but I never actually got to the very end. Or maybe I think I earned it, but I never actually, like, clicked the button. So I have no idea what the stone does. But at least we had a lot of fun until then.
That earns lots of really cool rewards that'll make you more powerful as you progress onto World Tier 3. The other thing we've built are micro-dungeons called Hell Breaches that offer a glimpse at the Infernal Hordes mechanics.
Free uber unique, yeah, exactly.
A chance to learn the mechanics before you confront the Infernal.
Which is so good. You're exactly right, Polar Cat. Yeah. So the fact that we're able to get a essentially free uber unique means that a lot of builds that rely on the uber uniques, which are generally very, 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 very hard to find. And it was almost a meme because they put a lot of work in the uber uniques, right? And they, like, talked about the changes previous to Season 4 about the uber uniques, and no one could get them because it was like a 0.00001% chance to get an uber unique. And so I remember making the video several times of, like, why the fuck are they bothering making changes to uber uniques? No one gets them anyways. And now they've, you know, added the mechanic where we can actually at least get one. And it's made a lot of difference, actually. It's made a lot of difference. Like me, I don't play enough to get the uber unique from random drop. So being able to get it in another mechanic is so fucking good and helpful. And I'm so glad they're doing that. They need to continue doing things like that to make the game accessible for the population they made this game for. And yeah, and one did drop. It was the freaking Ring of Starless Sky. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, Polar Cat. And it's really good that they're doing that because you know, we want to be able to play with cool things. And this game is made for casuals. This isn't Path of Exile. And it should never try to be something as dense as Path of Exile. It should be, you know, the easier game that is much more accessible, that you can have a lot of fun with and continue returning back to every season because it's very, very accessible. And, you know, goes for the Diablo dads, I think was what they termed it as the population.
Hordes at World Tier 3.
The final boss in this season is the Fell Council.
And the Fell Council is some familiar faces that you might recognize from Diablo 2.
These were priests
Talent
of the
Twigs.
Zakarum.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I think the what's it called? The Spiritborn is showing what they could do better with the talent trees. And I really do, Aku, when I made the video for the Spiritborn, which I put up all of the Spiritborn information on YouTube. So if you've not seen that yet, check it out because I put a lot of detail on those. But the talent trees are pretty interesting for at least the skills and stuff in for the Spiritborn. And I really hope they revamp the other characters. Like Druid is just going to be lesser to the Spiritborn in every single way, for example. So that would need like a little bit of a revamp with some of the skills and stuff. And I hope they go through all of the classes, the previous ones, and kind of like, you know, raise them all up to be interesting, or as even like a fraction as interesting as Spiritborn. I think that they would do very, very well to be able to go back and do that. I think that would be a huge change. It might take a lot of work from them, but I think that they really should consider it. Because right now, we're at a problem, and I've said this before, but where the Paragon boards are too complicated and too exacting. And the skill trees are way, way too simple, and they don't really offer too many real choices. And you compare it to any other game that is an RPG game, and it's like the difference is stark. You look at Last Epoch, and you get a skill tree for every single skill, like an actual skill tree. It's crazy the amount of detail you can do with Last Epoch. With Path of Exile, you mean you have the giant spider web and you have all the gems and everything, and you can tailor make your skills that way. And it's incredibly, incredibly detailed. Too detailed in Path of Exile, in my opinion. It's too dense. But Last Epoch does a really, really good job of kind of hitting that middle ground where it's incredibly unique, interesting, provides a lot of player agency and player choice. And it doesn't feel like it's a simplified, thing like Diablo 4 does. Rod Ferguson actually did acknowledge that he said it was an eye-opener that instead of chasing and thriving to outpace other ARPGs, being the entryway for new players into the RPG is the way to go. Yes, Polar Cat. Yes, Diablo 4 is doing that very well, but I just hope they balance out the complication, for lack of a better term, between the Paragon board and the actual normal skill tree. Because a lot of the Diablo 4 dads that I'm talking about, they don't even reach the Paragon board. I remember I was talking to some older Diablo 4 players that were just randos and stuff from when Diablo 4 first came out. And by first came out, I mean 3 months in. And none of them had reached level 100 at that point at all. And that's what the game is catered to, which means a lot of those people had only just started out their Paragon boards, which is insane when you think about it, right? It feels like, wow, how is that possible for 3 months? But that is the normal Diablo player. So if the normal Diablo player is not even seeing the nuanced Paragon boards, maybe they should take some of that nuance out and add some more nuance to the basic talent trees because they're so plain. That's what I'm saying.
The men who were corrupted and basically became...
Aku describes it very well. Why play Druid in Diablo 4 and Primalist is an option in Last Epoch and makes it infinitely better than Druid in Diablo 4 in every single way? Absolutely. Season 6 will touch on this problem. I certainly hope so, Polar Cat, but I really wish they would move faster with these things. Because, holy crap, man. Diablo 4 changes things at a snail's pace. We had an entire year, over a year, where Diablo 4 was, considered dog shit compared to the other ARPGs. And it makes me sad because I love Diablo 4. I played Diablo 4 every single season, which a lot of players can't even say. I love Diablo 4. But even still, the issues with Diablo 4 were glaring from the beta. And when they change, it's like night and day. Yeah, when they actually make the proper changes, like Season 4, it's such a huge and drastic change that affects the game so positively. Exactly.
Vessels of hatred in their own right.
The council members in Diablo 2.
Yes, the council members.
Help.
Dude, this is so cool, man. This is the villain in Season 5, the council. And that's what they're talking about. You can choose your villain. Dude, I am so excited about this. It looks like they're really trying to harken back to the glory days of Diablo 2 with certain aspects of Diablo 4. The vibe of Diablo 4 is very Diablo 2-esque. The the council thing here is very, very directly harkening back to Diablo 2. This is a massive W. They need to lean into this more. I love that they're doing this. I hope they continue to do this. Absolutely.
Contain Mephisto in his soul stone. And of course, Mephisto being Mephisto, slowly but surely corrupted them.
Good old
and
Mephisto.
Eventually, they had soul stones pierced into their hands and became super powerful. But eventually, you overcame them and sent them to hell. Through the course of the story, resummoned them. They've been reborn, slightly new powers, but the same animosity toward you.
What's interesting about this boss encounter is there are 5 council members, but you're only going to fight 3 of them at once.
This allows us to then create many different flavors of the boss fight for the Fell Council. In fact, it's about 10 variations in all. And so every time you go into that council fight, there's a very good chance you're going to have a different fight than the last time you played it. We think it's going to offer a lot of replay for players. What we also introduced during these waves are opportunities for you to earn ether. Burning ether is the
Yes.
resource.
This is the
that
new
you
resource that
gather
they're adding.
during the Infernal Hordes that you can then spend at the end of the activity.
There's going to be a fixed number of waves that you have to defeat.
Okay.
And once you've completed all those waves, then you'll face the Fell Council.
The Fell
defeat them,
Council.
and collect your treasure.
Rewards,
So upon defeating
yes.
the Fell Council, the spoils of hell will spawn, and then you consume your burning ether
Okay.
in opening those chests. Now, the trick is, when you are playing through these waves, that's your opportunity to earn as much ether as you can. Different events are going to spawn all throughout the waves, around the periphery of the arena, and it's your job to try and defeat as many of those events as possible to try and gather up all the ether you can. Really skilled players are going to be able to really maximize that ether so they get the biggest payout possible at the end after defeating the
Hold
Fell Council.
hold up. Wait, let's look at that oh, look at that loot explosion. Oh man. Yeah. Good. They need to make this worth it.
Biggest payout possible at the end after defeating the Fell Council.
Okay.
So with this burning ether, you'll be able
Hell
to get
yeah.
new
New uniques and legendaries. This excites me more than like any other mechanic in like every season. I love seeing the changes because this is what really makes builds that are, you know, not a thing in previous seasons more viable. It's what makes the new things more viable at all. Like you know, the Bash build wasn't a thing until they added the legendary aspect for Bash, for example. And there's like countless of these examples. Dude, this is great. I want to know all about the new uniques and
uniques. You'll be
legendaries.
able to get new legendaries. You'll be able to get rare materials, things you might have scoured the whole of Sanctuary for in previous seasons or in the base game, but now
Okay.
we offer it to you here, down in the depths of hell.
A lot of these new uniques and legendaries really build on top of this idea that they've been forged in hell.
Okay.
And so they're going to have unique
Hell yeah.
looks that you can then make into cosmetics to apply wherever you like. They can also have unique VFX and sound effects to really create the sense that they were forged
That
in
looks
hell.
cool. I like this.
One particular one that I enjoy using a lot are boots. Boots, you say? Well, these boots not only have been forged in hell. Whenever you use a power
Like a
wave
sword?
cooldown,
Yeah, exactly.
you shoot out a ring of fire that hits everyone around you. That's just one sample of the types of powers we're exploring.
So death in the Infernal Hordes is
Yeah, exactly,
quite a
Aku.
big deal. You're returning to the realm of hatred where Mephisto was born.
Right.
This has to be a big deal.
In the Infernal Hordes, it's a lot like Nightmare Dungeons. You only get a fixed number of revives in order to be able to get to the end of your run. So at lower difficulties of the Infernal Hordes, you'll get a number of revives shared between your party, but at higher difficulty levels, the game is going to start taking away those revives, and that increases the stakes
All right.
that you have.
If you die too much,
So
you'll
closer and closer to like a hardcore style feel.
be ejected from the mode.
Are they going to get rid of one-shots, though? Because stupid one-shots that you cannot see is the biggest problem, in my opinion, that Diablo 4 has right now. That like red on red, and then it kills you in one shot, no matter how much fortification or whatever you have. That is so annoying, and that is something that Diablo 4 has so much more than any other RPG on the market right now. Like, playing through all of last Epoch, the amount of times I get one shot are like almost nothing. Like, it's happened before, but it's extremely rare. But in Diablo 4, it happens all the time. So if you get to, like, you know, this endgame infernal boss thingy, horde council thing, and you just get one shot a couple of times and you lose all your rewards, that's just gonna feel bad. I really hope they focus on the one shot. I really don't like the one shots.
In the Infernal Hordes, we created a lot of new ways for monsters to ambush the players, and so I'm pretty stoked to see how our players respond to these.
The seasonal quest line and the eternal quest line, they have lots of little surprises and twists and turns in them. And there's even some surprises we've buried deep within the Infernal Hordes that hopefully players will have a great time with.
I hope so. August 6th, man. That is 5 days away. Who's excited, man? Who's excited? I'm super excited. I'm super excited. I mean, I will start with Druid because Druid will be the weakest. And if I play any other class before I play Druid, it'll feel like Druid is not worth playing. So just like I do every season, we'll be starting with the Druid. Yeah, we'll. You're hyped. You can't sleep. Yeah, man. Well, definitely get some sleep. It's 5 days away. Poor cat. I need you to get some sleep before it. If I owned it, I would. Well, don't worry, Kawhi. I'll make sure you can enjoy it in here in the meantime. And yeah, I'm excited. What change of Diablo 4 Season 5, this season of Infernal Hordes, are you most excited for? Are you excited about the uniques? Are you excited about the legendary aspects? Are you excited about the hell? Going back to hell? Are you excited about the Legion Council? Or what? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your input. Personally, for me, it's easy. It's absolutely easy. New items, new legendary aspect, new uniques. That is what really, really makes these Diablo seasons for me. A lightning mage? Oh, dude, hell yeah. That's what makes the game for me. So hopefully we'll get something really, really cool. Some cool builds and cool, fun stuff. Absolutely enjoy, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thank you so much. Share it with your friends. Season 4 was really good. So I feel like Season 5 will probably be pretty good as well. Hopefully. Hopefully.